Hi, I'm Nigel, an engineer with over 30 years experience. Join me on my adventures as I build new, repair old and restore beauty. This is Bleeding Rust. Hello and welcome back to the workshop. Not even got a brew because Margaret's out. It's my first time back in the workshop in a long time. So before we get into this video, and it's been a while, I think I need to explain where I've been and what's been going on. Well, basically life gets in the way. So I apologise to all my subscribers for not putting video out for so long. What's it been, like 3 months? But I've literally been in this workshop in this last 3 months, twice, 3 times, hardly at all. We have got something behind this cover to show you in this video, and there's lots been going on, but just not in the workshop and not been able to put a video out. So what's gone on? So basically, beginning in November, the company that I worked for, and I do have a day job, I don't earn any money from YouTube. It would be nice one day, but I need to have a day job to pay the bills. And they announced redundancies and they were laying people off. Basically, a third of the engineering team was going. We had 45 days to apply for jobs internally. And at the end of the 45 days, they would decide which of the engineers would be laid off and which would be staying. I decided not to wait around and wait for somebody else to decide my fate and whether I was going to have a job or not. Making it more awkward because it was going to lead into Christmas. So by the time we'd found out, I'd have got 4 weeks redundancy pay or severance pay to last me, and that'd be leading into Christmas. Finding another job in December would be very difficult. So I put my CV online, and very luckily, there is quite a shortage of engineers in the UK, especially up north, around where I am in Manchester. And within a week, a company contacted me, saw my CV online, invited me in. So I went to see them, had an interview with them, and I was offered the job, so I accepted. So end of November then, I left my previous employer, started in the new job, and then through December then, it's getting used to the new job, and there was some training to go along with that. So a lot going on in December. Then obviously we've had the Christmas period. I've been a little bit ill as well, just flu, nothing serious. So with all of that going on and things happening, I just haven't had the time or the ability to get into the workshop. But things have changed now. I'm settled into my new job. I absolutely love it. It's a complete change from what I was doing. I'm still maintenance engineer, looking after machinery, but I was in a plant that made concrete products and keeping all the machines running that made those products. I'm now in textiles. So the company I work for, absolutely brilliant. They're a global company. They're called Alcogen, if you want to know. And they make all sorts of what are known as non-woven products. So these are like filters, high-end filters for things like everything from aeroplanes to petrochemical plants to pharmaceuticals. They make filters for that, and the plant that I'm in makes the actual filter material. Then it goes off to other plants to be knitted or shaped into actual filters and stuff. It's really interesting. The shift pattern's really good. And yeah, I'm really happy. So I'm settled in now, so I'm able to dedicate time back to the workshop again. And you're still wondering what this is under this cover. I've put this on for dramatic effect. But this is a tool. It doesn't complete the workshop because there's still other things that I want. This is a major, major boost. And I'm going to keep you guessing for a couple of minutes. See if you can work out what it might be. I'll give you a clue. It's going to replace the pillar drill. So in this video, we're going to move all of this, and this is going to go there, and it's going to replace the pillar drill. But it's not a pillar drill. It's a massive clue that. You've probably worked it out. So while I was at work, my first week there, saw this machine in the workshop. I went, oh, you've got a beep And I said, it's great because normally you don't have one. And they said, well, unfortunately, insurance has stated that we can't keep it. But I said, what's going to happen to that then? They said, oh, it's going to go in the scrap. And I went, so I explained about my workshop and my YouTube channel to my new boss, who was thrilled. And he says, hey, if you can move it and you can get it out of here, you can have it. So I did, and here it is. So the big reveal. What do you think it is? Yeah, exciting. So here we go. And 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! It is indeed. Let's get rid of that sheet. It is, with a droopy lamp, a milling machine. It's not CNC or anything fancy, but it's not done a lot of work. It looks very dirty, but it's not done a lot of work. It's not a high-end brand. It's not, but it's okay. I've checked it. It's straight. It works. It's fully working. And it came with loads of extras in this box. There's loads of end mills and other bits. It came with a full set of collets as well. It's got a collet, the collet holders in there, and there's a full set of collets. It came with them. It's also come with the clamps to clamp it down. It's got a full set of them there in the down underneath. Yeah, loads of little bits of extras, and it fully works. So I am really, really happy. So my plan is to use this milling machine as well as a milling machine, which is an amazing addition to the workshop, but also as the pillar drill. The bed will lower a lot further if I unlock it. Just there, turn this handle and down it goes. And that'll give me certainly enough height then to use it as a pillar drill to replace the pillar drill that I've got there. Now, I'm not going to get rid of that pillar drill. That can move somewhere else because I've got a specific job for this pillar drill that I want it to do. So I'm going to move that onto the bench, probably at the back over there, to do this specific job, which I will show you a bit later because I've got a new fancy tool to fit onto it. But essentially, I've got an MT3 taper on my lathe because my lathe takes the same with a chuck on it. Now that can go into the spindle, essentially turning it into a pillar drill. So that means I need somewhere for this to live as well. It's at the minute right in the middle of the workshop floor, and that doesn't give me any room to work. So I'm going to get rid of this bench and all this stuff here, including the pillar drill, move that out of the way, clear all of this out, and then there'll be space for the milling machine to go here. And that'll give me plenty of room to work, and probably I'll at some point put some shelves up there to keep the tooling on. But yeah, so that's what we've got to do now, because I can't do any other jobs or do anything else in the workshop until that's moved. Now it's very heavy. To get it off my trailer, I back my trailer in through the big double doors there, and I attached a chain lifter onto that beam, lifted it up, and drove the trailer out. Now I've got this swinging arm here, which you might have seen in the first video, that swings, and it's right over the mill at the minute, and if I swing it this way, it means I should be able to drop the mill right where I need it to go. Now I don't particularly trust it. It was made by my dad. It's welded up there. It's pretty substantial. I don't know how much this milling machine weighs, but it's pretty heavy. What I'm thinking is try it. If I can get it to lift off the ground without pulling the building down over my head, just have it, 10, 20 mil off the ground, as long as it's moving, and then swing it round and into place. So that'll either work or I'll go disastrously wrong. So we'll find out. But first, let's get all of this shifted out of the way. Right, I've got some brake cleaner. I've got a few tins of this. It's really cheap, but it breaks down the oil, won't affect the paint. So that way, then it evaporates. So brake cleaner is brilliant. I've got my rubber gloves. Let's get them on first, and I've got some rags. Now this was one of them tubs of I don't know, super clean or tough on the job. I can't remember what they're called. But the packet they dry out. They're already impregnated with cleaner, aren't they? You know, and the damp wipes for cleaning. But they've dried out, but I kept them. I thought they'll come in handy for rags for wiping oil up and stuff. And I think they'll work well. They're quite tough. They're not just going to tear like tissue. Well, that seems to be working reasonably well, so I'm going to carry on now and clean the rest of it. And join me again when I give it a bit of a spruce up. Well, Margaret turned up, so I've finally got a brew. So, as is tradition, welcome to the workshop. The cleanup's going all right. It's slow going. There's a lot of grime on it. The idea is I don't want to do a full cleanup and restoration. I'll do that, like I said, when I change the motor. I just want to get some of this grime and this the years of horribleness off while it's here. So now I'm armed with a brew. It should be a bit easier. So let's carry on. Right, that's all the cleaning I'm going to do on it for now because it's going to take a lot of cleaning. The bed needs to be removed, cleaned properly, and all the ways and gibs cleaned and checked and everything else. So there's a lot of work to do on this. However, it's not as grubby as it was. It's looking a lot cleaner. It might not look like it on the video, but trust me, I've just spent ages on the nooks and crannies. But a lot of this dirt is proper ground in, and it's going to take some cleaning. And when I do it up properly, put the new motor on, I'll probably repaint it and try and make it look new. For now, I need it moved, so it's time to get it in that corner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook this up onto my chain lifter, see if we can lift it, if this swinging arm will lift it, and if we can gently swing it around to where it's going. Right, so this is the lifting point here, and I'm just putting some threaded rod through. And it should come out of that end. Get that to balance. Push it from this end. There we are. So now that bar is sticking through, I can put a strap around that. And then I'm going to use this chain block here, hooked onto that bar, which is on this swing arm. And I've just noticed it's only painted on one side. The jobs in this workshop will be never ending. So hook it onto there, which is directly above the mill, and hopefully it can take the weight, lift it, and allow me to swing it round. Okay. It's not going to swing at me. Gently take it up. So it looks like it's weighted this way, so I'm going to move the bed back and see if that helps to balance it. So I'll see if I can go up a bit more, but it's got it. If it was to break, it's literally got a couple of inches to drop, so in case of safety, it's not too bad. I don't want any of this hitting me on the head, so. But it's picked it up. It's picked it up. We're off the ground. Will it swivel? Ooh, we're getting there. How's that there? Got room to work. Either side. I could come this way a bit. Yeah, I think I want to go that way, but we're getting there. Down. I'm just going to reposition it one more time, because I think, actually, when it's at its furthest this way, the bed, I want to make sure, I'll move out of the way so you can see. With the bed, it's furthest that way. I want room to work, and I also want room to be able to stand there and work on it. So that's maximum travel. I'll be stood here at the bench. We're not a million miles out, actually. Oh, I wonder if I can just. Oops. Oh, we're still caught on that. Oh. Was that too far? Yeah, that's when it's at its maximum. That gives me room. I could even have maybe a small tool chest here with the bits in. Absolutely brilliant. Well, I'm really happy with that there. I think it's an amazing addition to the workshop. It needs some work, but it is fully operational, full and working now, but I want to clean it up and everything else. But yeah, maybe I'm thinking maybe a cabinet down there or shelves up here where I can keep the tooling for it. I need to get the coolant line plumbed in. You don't always need coolant, but it's good to have. So yeah, I'm super chuffed with that, and it looks so much tidier and neater, and we're getting another step forward. For those that watched the very first episode where I did a tour of the workshop, you'll remember me going, oh, we've got this swing arm thing that my dad made for craning things around the workshop. And I said, I'm sure I said in that video, I'll probably cut that off because I can't see me ever using it. Well, how wrong I was, and my dad was right yet again. What a wise man he was. And yeah, it's helped me get that in place because it's a bit of a lump. But yeah, I'm really pleased. I'm not going to bolt it down to the floor. It will be eventually, because when I do the full restoration, I'll probably pick it up again, swing it out to the middle, do the full clean up and restoration for it before I put it back and it gets bolted down permanently. So the next job is the solar arch I've been promising you. Yes, I've still not made it. I've not, like I say, I've not been in the workshop. There's been a shortage of stainless steel. We need 316. It needs to be the right diameter and the right wall thickness. If you saw the video when I got the pipe bender, which is over there at the minute, and it should be bolted down right in front of the camera here, but I had to unbolt it in order to get this through the doors. So I need to bolt that back down. Finally, the tubes arrived. I had an absolute nightmare getting hold of 316 with the right wall thickness to allow us to do neat bends. And if you watch that video, you'll know that if you don't get right thickness of wall, you end up with ripples in the bends, and we don't want that. So that is coming up next. So the next video will be me starting that actual solar arch, and we'll be bolting it down. I've actually got the pulpit, push pit, it's at the back, so push pit off Ben's boat, so that we can get the exact location of where the feet are going to go, because it's going to replace the push pit, and it's actually going to incorporate a new push pit into the solar arch. So all that on the next episode. But for now, I'm really, really pleased to be back doing videos, back in my workshop. It's filling me with joy. It really is. And thank you so much for your patience. A few of you've left some really nice messages worrying about me and if I'm okay. I'm still here. Thank you for all your kind words. Thank you for still watching the videos. Obviously now we've got more we can do with a milling machine as well as the lathe and everything else. Last bit before I shoot off, I promise you, I'll quickly show you my new toy that I got for Christmas. So let's grab the phone and show you now. I got this bandsaw, and it's ace. I'll while I'm talking, I'll put a little clip of me using it in the video, in the snippet. But it's yeah, it's a little bandsaw. Would you believe this cost £120, and it was from Aldi? So all the UK people who watch me from the UK, you'll know Aldi. And it's just a supermarket, and they have special offers on. And yeah, she got it me from Aldi, and I have to say it works really well. It was 120 quid, and I can't argue. Now, obviously, it's not industrial or whatever, but this is a hobby workshop at the end of the day, so it works great. I will be getting a bigger one at some point. But yeah, I'm shocked how well it does actually work, and it cuts really straight. And I've tried it on stainless, and in the video that you're probably seeing right now, I'm actually cutting through stainless tube and tried it. The other tool that I've got, and I'll put a snippet of me using that in the video as well, but we'll do this properly, is this. This is for notching your tubes, and there's one that I've notched there. And when you've notched tube, then it means you get a perfect joint for welding, which we need. So yeah, and that works superbly well. That's Vivor is the brand. They're very common on eBay and Amazon at the moment, Vivor. And again, for £49, I'm shocked how well that works. And that is why this tool is why I'm keeping my pillar drill. So the pillar drill's down there, I took off the bench earlier. And I want to set the pillar drill up, maybe clean it up a little bit. It's a bit of a mess. Fit this tool onto it. And have that set up here because it cuts on the other side, somewhere around this area. And then once we get into making this solar arch, I can then bring pieces of tube to notch them straight onto that, cut them, and it means that now I've got this wonderful machine here. I've still got a pillar drill to drill holes and do your traditional stuff. So everything is really, really starting to come together, and I'm super happy. The pipe bender's down here. That needs to go back in its holes. The bolts and the bolt in place is still there on the floor, and I've tripped over it a million times. I did try putting paper cups on the top. I just ended up kicking the paper cups around the workshop. So the sooner I get that back on, the better. So that's it. Thank you for joining me back in the workshop. So happy to be back here. So happy to be getting on with stuff again. So yeah, join me for the next video, which will not, I promise you, be another 3-month wait. Until then, take care.